All right, for the banded hamstring mobilization, this is one of the best mobilizations we are going to use for improving our forward fold or our hip hinge pattern. So what we're going to need for this is a post that you can hook a band up to, as well as one of your thicker bands. Depending on how heavy you are, that will determine basically how heavy the band is that you need. I'm a little bit heavier myself, so I need one of these thicker bands. But if you're a little bit lighter, you may be able to get by with something a little bit thinner. You would just have to play around with it a little bit. What you're gonna do, once you have that band hooked up at right about hip height, you're gonna step your leg all the way inside this band so that the band is as high up on your hip joint as you can possibly get it. Now, what we're doing with this mobilization is trying to improve our hinge or trying to improve our hamstring flexibility. So in order to target these muscles the best, there is a specific way that we need to set up every time. Once my band is set up as high up on my hip as I can get it, I'm going to take a big step forward so I can really feel this band tension wants to pull me back to that rack pretty aggressively. Once I feel that tension, I'm going to keep this banded leg planted and then take one big step past my banded leg so that I'm leaning forward into this band tension. And what you're going to first do is just try to find a balance point where most, if not all of your weight is on that banded back leg. Now, as you can see, the balance is a little bit tough, but the more you spend time with this mobilization, the better you get at it. So once I'm set up here, most of my weight's on that back leg. I'm gonna first lock my back leg out so my leg is completely straight. And as I maintain my body weight on that back leg, I'm gonna keep my abs tight and start to fold forward as I let the band pull my hips back just the slightest bit. Now again, I am trying to keep most of my weight on that back leg. So as you start to fold forward, you'll feel your abs and your balance really start to be challenged here. If this is a new and challenging position for you, you can use a box or a bucket or really anything to help you keep your weight distributed on that back leg enough. But in this mobilization, just like most other mobilizations, I want to try and stay relaxed as much as possible. So if I'm really trying to fight this with my core tension, your body's not going to respond very well to this mobilization. So it's better if I can find a way to let the band pull my hip back. Again, if I need a taller box in the beginning, that's totally fine. But as I get more used to this, I want to try and work some big, deep breaths in this position as I just hang out and kind of wiggle side to side if that feels like it benefits. As I get more used to this position, there are a couple of options. So I can split my legs apart a little bit wider. Again, still trying to keep most of my body weight on that banded leg. And I can also cross my leg over the top, which will change that stretch again on that back leg. And all of these variations are just trying to get my body a little bit more used to being in this forward fold position. Again, in the beginning, a lot of us struggle with this position. So when I program this, if I program it before a workout, I'll generally prescribe it for about a minute or two per side. But if this is a mobilization that you really struggle with, it's a really good idea if you can leave one of these bands just hooked up kind of permanently at your house. And anytime that you have about 5 minutes, to just throw your leg inside, do about 2 minutes of this mobilization per side, and try to work that in multiple times per day. That will actually benefit your mobility journey a whole lot more than doing one dedicated mobility session 1 day a week. If you're doing 2 or 3 5-minute sessions, but you're doing them most days of the week, those smaller sessions really start to snowball, and that's how we can really start to get some good mobility work going.